So when I'm working in Finder and I come across a file that I want to open up and it has something to do with maybe code or configuration or maybe some text, I like to open that up with my editor of choice here, which is Neovim. And so I set things up here. You can see if I just double click on this file here, you can see that opens up a window here, brings me right to this pyproject.toml. So I could close that. And then let's say I'm working in a different directory. I want to open up a different file, this time a C++ file. Can just open that up then. Again, double click it or command down. And there you go. We've got fork.cpp here. And of course, when I'm done, then I can close this. So I like this workflow of being able to open up a file, make some changes to it, maybe read through it. And then when I'm done, I can just close it out. And that way I don't have to do something like copy the path to the file instead. Like I might otherwise have to copy the path. And then I might have to come over, open up a new terminal window, change the directory where the file's at. And then I have to open that up here, and I could maybe open up that specific file that I wanted. So that's the alternative. So essentially, I rolled that all into one little action here. So I don't even have to open up the terminal. Instead, I can just double click on a file here. For example, here's a YAML file. I can open that as well. And then I also set this up. So if, for example, I resize the window here, put it in the upper left-hand corner, when I close out of that, if I come back over to Finder and open up the same file again, you can see the window this time is in the upper left-hand corner again, exactly where I left it. And if I close out of this file and I open up another file right next to the old file, so this time a script instead, in this case as well, you can see this opens a window in the exact same location as the previous file. So essentially, I set up a mechanism. If I close this out here and come over to a different folder, I set up a mechanism that keeps track of the workspace, if you will, which for the most part is just a repository root. Wherever that's at, then it stores some state about the window. So when it recreates that window, like if I were to open up this README, for example, this is in that other folder I was working on. So in this case, it's in the lower right-hand corner versus this one, which is in the upper left-hand corner. So I set things up to keep track of wherever the window's at, like right here, for example, close that now. So if I open this up again, you can see that opens right in the middle of the screen. I also set things up so I don't have to do a lot to close the window. I don't want to really have to type in : and then Q to quit out of this window. So I've got F9 set up here to quit out of Neovim. Basically types the : and the Q for me. So I really like this workflow of being able to navigate around the file system. And when I come across a file that I want to open up, I can just open it up as if it were a GUI. And I'm taken right to a new iTerm window with Neovim running inside with the exact file that I wanted to look at. Now, in terms of the mechanics, if you'd like to reproduce this here, the first thing I had to set up an application that can handle opening up any of these files. And so I created the shell, if you will, of an application called a Wes dispatcher. So if I come into my applications directory for my user, here's the dispatcher app. So if I open this up with Automator, this is basically just a really simple script that calls out to another script here that I set up in my dot files, which takes care of opening the window and then repositioning it, etc. And so then when I double click on a file, it's routed to that dispatcher app. And that's possible because I've got that defined over inside my .files repo here under macOS, and then this open with fish script, simple script that calls out to a command called duty, which allows you to take an extension and map it to a program. I'll zoom in a bit here and make this bigger. I also set things up to keep track of the font size as well here. If I make this really big, watch what happens when I exit out now. If I go back and open up that same file, this time the window takes up the whole screen, and you can see the font is now zoomed in. All right, so in this case, way down here toward the bottom, got a ton of different extensions that I want to use with Neovim here. And so basically, I just loop over all those extensions, and for each one, I call in to set up the dispatcher for that to be my Wes dispatcher app. All right, so now the script that's called by the dispatcher, that's this mvim.fish here. It's actually going to call this mvim.py eventually. So I'll open this up here. I've covered this in a previous video. Basically, this is going to build up a command call to the Python script, and the Python script uses the iTerm API to open up the window and specify the command that's going to run inside. So that's all done as a part of this mvim.fish calling into mvim.py. I'll jump down there. So this is the key part here where I'm calling out to the mvim.py script. And then for that mvim.py, so inside of here, the first thing I try to do, I try to get access to a file that has the saved position information for the window, as well as the sizing. If I find it then, if I jump down here, then I go ahead and use that save state, if you will. Otherwise, I basically use defaults. So you can see here I have the X and the Y position of the origin of the window. I also have the font size, and then I've got rows here, which would be your lines, so the number of lines. And then I've also got columns here, which would be the number of characters left and right. So I build up that information, and then down below here, this is where the magic happens. I call into the iTerm API to create a window, and I pass a command here via this profile customizations, a command that essentially up here, you can see, calls out to Neovim, and it passes the path that was clicked on. So whatever file I opened up inside of Finder, that's the path that's passed right there. And of course, then I set some variables to keep track of the fact that this is kind of a special window I opened up. And I do that because when it comes time to quit out of that window, that's when I want to capture the position of the window, the size, etc. And I want to save that state then for the next time I open up a window. All right, so when I go to close out a Neovim here, I essentially call this Lua function. And when I run that, that takes a snapshot of the state of the window and saves it to disk. And because I called that before I quit out of Neovim, if I were to come over and open up another file in this project here, in this case, it opens up a window that looks very much like the one that's right behind it. So now if I close out of all of this, so it's when I quit out here that I keep track of the state. And so now if I come over and open up yet another file in here in the same project or workspace, there you go. You can see it's now in the upper right. Now, in order to make this actually happen, instead of my Lua function, I consider that to be a client function. It then has to connect out to another process I have that is a daemon process that runs the iTerm API. And I had to do that just to make things responsive enough. Otherwise, there can be a lag of up to half of a second or more, and I just don't think that's a good experience. And so I set things up with a daemon. The client connects to it, asks the daemon to then snapshot the window position using the iTerm API and save that to disk. Now, if you'd like to replicate any of this, check out my .files repo out on GitHub. Everything's sprinkled throughout the repository. A lot of it's going to reside inside of my iTerm 2 configuration or scripts here in the semantic click handler directory. I also have some stuff inside of my Neovim config that's in this repo. And if you just search for the word semantic, you'll find most of the implementation here. And it's called semantic because it's based on the same idea I had from iTerm here. I had a separate video about this where you can command click to open up a file and the output of a command here. And so the exact same script I set up here to open up a new window to do that, that was the exact inspiration then to set things up in Finder to do the exact same thing.